Okay. So I'm stretching first, obviously, because we never want to start a workout without stretching, because that's terrible for our bodies. And if you guys joined or saw my last live workout that I the last recording I did of a workout, you saw me doing some legs and stuff, and so I'm going to be expanding on that today a little bit and doing some stuff laying down on the bar with the bar. Sorry. Yeah. All right, and I've been having a lot of problems lately with my hip flexors, just not getting the range of motion that I want. So if anybody is struggling with that, that these types of workouts are excellent for you. Put the light right here so it's a little bit better. This guy is not supposed to be tracking. He's supposed to be in standard mode. So I have to that's the thing that kind of sucks with this new camera that I got. I love it. It's like the picture is really awesome and clear, but it is just, I don't know why, it just always switches. And I had that problem with my last eMeet camera. I love their cameras. They use these Sony, for as inexpensive as they are, like under $200. They use Sony lenses and stuff. I mean, they're really, really nice. So anyway, I'm not trying to plug them because I'm not an affiliate or anything. So we're just going to keep stretching here, and I'm going to use my bench. It's not an actual workout bench, but it's heavy as heck. So I'm going to use it to stretch my calves and my heel, right? Because sometimes my heel gets, especially with all my foot surgeries, it gets really tight. Okay. So I'm going to do some rolling on here. This feels so good on my back every day. Oh, stretch, stretch, stretch. Stretching and working out is so good for your body, especially during the holidays, when it's really stressful for some people. It's not for me because I don't do anything anymore, really. I eliminated that, that piece of my life because it didn't bring me any peace, I wore my shoes in here and I hate doing that. Okay, so let's just do some push-ups. And then go back and sit in child's pose. This is just like a warm up, so we're not trying to do anything too crazy right now. Just, getting our body ready to start. We're telling our body we're going to be working out. We're stretching our wrists, our fingers, everything. Okay, now I'm going to do a plank. See, it's tracking again. It follows my face. It's funny. No, not tracking mode, dude. Let's do what I'm asking you to, buddy. I don't know why it does this. Okay, let's see. Sorry about that. I guess I'm gonna have to keep, babysitting it today or something. But whatever. So I just walked my dog, like a really brisk walk before I even started this. Just, to even further just get because I've been resting a lot the last few days. And my apartment is hot as hell because I am cooking something, even though it's on low, I'm cooking some pulled pork that I'm making. So it's like pork shoulder. So I'm cooking it and it's not very hot. It's only like at 275, but it is making my apartment so hot. And I don't like having the fan right here because I feel like it's too loud, I'm doing a live. So yeah. All right. So let's I'm gonna get my Angel. I'm gonna get my weights. Okay. And so I'm just gonna go into these sets, without trying to take too many breaks. So I'm gonna start off by just doing I don't know what this is called actually. It's not a squat. I guess it's a squat without, it's not a squat. But it definitely does stretch your hamstrings. So we're gonna do 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Tiny pulses. 25. 10. 23, 24, 25. Hold again. Okay. Now let's go over here to the bench. I'm going to do this at a slight angle here because I think it'll be easier to see hopefully. And we're just going to do 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to scoot a little bit further down. And I'm going to bring my hands to the center. And I'm going to do some head bangers. 1, skull bangers. 2, 3. I always say that. 4, 5. I haven't done these in a while, and it's kind of hard doing them with such a long bar. This is an Olympic size bar. So 6. Just try to get down as far as you can. 10, 11, 12. Okay. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to rest this bar on my stomach, and I'm going to hold my legs up right here. I don't know if you can see them. Okay, yeah. And I'm going to do
140 of these. 17, 20, halfway, 30, 40. Okay. Alrighty. So let's take some water. Okay, and I'm just gonna stretch really quick again my arms because we're doing a lot of arm stuff today, right? So a lot. Give yourself a hug. Big hug. Because this is good work, right? Yeah. Okay, and so we're gonna go again. Oh. Oh. 10, 11, 12, hold. Little pulses, 25. 25, okay. Head right over here. Now lay down. Okay. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, sorry. Okay, now tiny pulses at the top. 22, 23, 24, 25. Now let's do tiny pulses at the bottom. 25. Okay. Okay, let's do our skull bringers. Bringing it down as far as you can. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, let's hold it at the top. Bring it halfway down and do tiny pulses. Okay, we're gonna rest it on our stomach again and pull our legs up. When you pull your hands into the bar, you should be feeling a lot on your shoulders. That's where you should be, getting ripped right there. Okay, so let's do 45 of these. Well, 20. 30. $40, $45. Okay. And I should have my gloves on, but I don't. So we're gonna take a couple second rest and get some water. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can ask them to me now if you would like. Oops. I was just making sure that the right mic was being used. Okay. I don't think there's a way you can change it on here, maybe. Okay, so I was gonna ask you guys, if you guys work out daily. And I can say that I do work out, or try to work out every day, but I don't always do weights. And you really don't want to do that. And that's why a lot of people that you talk to say, oh, today's a leg day, or today is a arm day. Well, I've worked out for longer than I want to admit, over 25 years. And I don't pick leg days and arm days specifically because I like a full body workout, but I also don't work out every day. Some people, they have to have that consistency in their life every day. And so they will go really hard one day on arms and then really hard on legs the next day, letting their, bodies heal. If you do, like me, arms and legs every workout, you don't want to work out every single day, because your body, when you're ripping your ATP, right? When you're ripping your muscles and when you're working out, your body is then, your amino acids and your ATP then is repairing that, and that's how you get ripped, right? So if you don't allow your body to rest like that, it's a waste. The other thing is that your body can't rebuild the ripping in your muscles if it has to spend all the time during the day cleansing your body first. Your body has to start, it basically cleanses the toxins out of your body before it starts ripping you, okay? Before it starts rebuilding that stuff. So it cleans out your toxins, then it starts fixing that. So that's why people take creatine, they take all kinds of stuff. And if you guys want to know creatine is supposed to enhance that. The problem with taking creatine is if you eat junk food or you drink all the time, say you drink constantly and you work out. There's a lot of people that do that. They do look ripped. They look ripped, right? The problem with it is that they're winded very quickly. Like they have muscle, but no stamina, right? Because you can sit there and get ripped like that, but your overall body, you still have toxins in your body. And so they looked ripped, but they would be 10 times more ripped. And also I've noticed with people like that, so they'll focus on like one muscle group really to look really ripped, like say their arms or their chest or something, right? And then you look at other parts of their body, and because your body, if you're lifting that heavy, your legs are still going to show, even if you're not doing a lot of leg exercises, because your legs and your back have to hold you, your legs should be showing growth as well. And people that have all that toxicity in their body, they're not going to show a lot of growth in the other parts of their body. And they're only going to have large muscle, like rippedness, if that's a word, right? They're not going to have any latent or small muscle ripping, because it's never going to get to that point, because by the time it flushes out whatever toxins, if they do drink and stuff every day, then it doesn't have time to get to like your latent muscles. Plus you have to do exercises to do that. But so just to let everybody know, if you guys know the swing, which I'm sure if you subscribe to me, you remember it, right here, basically where I'm sitting, I talked to the maintenance guy for the owner of my apartment, and I asked him if I could hang my yoga swing in here. He's supposedly coming tomorrow to help me go look at through 2 tiles up here in the ceiling and, go up there and be able to hang the yoga swing in here. So I am so excited, because the reason I got that, it was never for anything except for purely helping me be able to do really good workouts on my latent muscle groups, because I was getting ready to have surgery. And I can honestly say, when I had my my leg, wrapped up and stuff, and it was in a cast essentially for 6 weeks, and I did that yoga swing. Till this day, I have never seen my body as ripped as it was when I had that yoga swing, because it uses, and I can't even imagine how it's going to be when I get back on it, because it's scary at first. If you guys saw the video I put out when I was first trying to learn it, I was like a fumbling, idiot. I was just like, because you're off the ground. There's nothing that's going to catch you if you fall. And there I had carpet. Here it's a hardwood floor, right? And I'll tell you guys something else that I did a couple weeks ago. This is probably about 2 months ago, actually. And I'll be honest, I'm still recovering. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So what happened was, I was so tight in my muscles and stuff that I was getting all of this popping. And, I would micro focus on certain things, because I was going to my storage unit, and my storage unit had just gotten broken into. And, I had come down here, moved to a brand new place. The guy that I was hanging out with, it was not working well at all. It was just not the right thing. He was just not a very good person. And I was not going to stay with that. But I was, an hour and a half away from where I was living. I didn't have a job because he wouldn't allow me to work the whole time. None of that stuff. So I quickly got approved to start driving for Uber, just to get some cash daily in my pocket and stuff like that. And doing stuff like that. And I was like, I didn't really want to have to start camming again, but I was like, I have to pay my bills, right? So I decided, I was going to start working out and stuff, but I was so tight. I was just I thought that I needed a chiropractor, but what I needed was a masseuse, right? So I put my, the bar that you hang to do pull-ups on over your doorway. Well, I have one of those, and I have these. This house was built in 1887, and so the doorway, the jambs or whatever, they're tapered, and so it wasn't going to work. So the only one I could use was on my front door, apartment door, because it's square-ish, and So I put it up there and I tested it and it was fine. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I decided so I was like, okay, cool. So I tested it, I hung, whatever. And then I decided to then try to do pull-ups on the opposite side, which as soon as I pulled up and I swung, it fell off and I fell flat on my ass, my butt, my elbows hit first and I fell flat on my back. And my head hit the ground, everything. And I was like nervous because my neighbor was just like right here. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I was in like an outfit that I was going to be wearing to start working. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was in like, it was like a crocheted dress or something. But I was just like, I did not want him to see me like laid flat like that on the, in the doorway. So I was like, I was having a heart, like, so I got up, right? And my elbows were just killing me. I was like knocked the, the, like chiropractic issues. And I was like, well, maybe I, knocked the, like my, spine back in or something. I thought that was my problem. And so I got on and worked, right? But I felt dehydrated, just, it was, I don't even know if I knew the full effects of it, really, because a lot of times when we're in like a trauma situation or stressful situation, our mind is just like trying to push through so hard, we ignore our bodies a lot. And I didn't even thought that I did that. I thought I was so in tune with my body all the time. And it wasn't until I went to a chiropractor and I told her what happened. And she said, your issue is not chiropractic. She said, I'm trying to crack your back and stuff. And she said, your issue is muscular. She said, I can't get to the bones because you're so tight. I'm bouncing off of your muscles. And I was like, how can that be? I mean, I knew that because like, especially we hold tons of stress in our shoulders. And I'm sure, see, the good thing about that fall was when you fall like that, and I didn't know I was going to, I couldn't brace for it, right? It was like, and sometimes that's the best thing for your body, just because when you brace for something and you hold tight, you can really mess things up. So anyway, that happened. And I have been, it would be amazing to have had my yoga swing back because, you can really stretch and really work your latent muscle groups, your small muscle groups, and really get into those because when you're working your muscles like that, you're also like massaging them in a way, right? And so after I saw my lady, she's like, you need to be seeing a masseuse once a week. Well, I mean, I was seeing a really good guy, but I had a ton of things that I had to take care of regarding my health and other things, right? I had to I had a abnormal breast exam. I had to get an MRI for, and a whole bunch of stuff. Like I had to go to the dentist. I had a couple cavities, just like all kinds of stuff. And so I was like, well, I'm putting that on my list, So anyway, I was kind of scared to ask the maintenance guy because I really didn't, asking somebody to put that up, I didn't want them to be like, oh, that's an invitation for me to come over and see her working out on her yoga swing or something, because I'm an extremely private person. I just, it was very difficult for me to tell my landlord, what I did for work because the responses I've gotten over the years that I've done that is they're not positive, right, at all. And I like, I like to tell as few people as possible, just because that's not something I want to do forever, but also it's not who I am, you know. It's a job, and how many people out there can say that you love going to your job every day? Raise your hand if you absolutely love your job. And that is my goal, is to love my job every day. Had I not gotten into that work, though, I would have never had the confidence to get online to do anything, because it wasn't until I was at that job for almost a year before I got enough confidence to start like my YouTube channel. Because I was a mom with my head down for 20 years. So I never even thought about stuff like that. If I was hot or good looking or, whatever, I was always in a relationship, and I just, focused on my life. But I was worried when I found out I had to get surgery, because I worked out so often. I was like, what am I going to do? Right. So I got the Yoga Swing, and plus I was like, oh, well, I can start using this in my shows and stuff, like on YouTube and whatever. And so it really made a tremendous amount of difference with how I looked, because of being able to do that for those 6 weeks that I wasn't able to really walk as much as, and I did. I started walking my dogs the night I got home from that surgery. And I probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway, so I've noticed that I have had a little bit of like movement on my foot, and so I'm going to have to do that. So I have one more set left. I just wanted to take a minute to, answer any questions if anybody had anything, and, just say hello. I said I was going to do this for an hour, just so I could, talk to you guys a little bit. I like to keep things to an hour. I was thinking about just doing it for a half hour, but I think, when I'm not really interacting with anyone, my workouts are generally a half hour. So I was like, well, that's really probably not long enough. So anyway, I was going to do the plank, and then one more set, and then go from there. So, and if you guys saw my video on, things I do before I get online, and I mentioned this in that workout video, I like to do planks and push-ups before I get online, and squats and stuff, because it makes you look like more small. So I do have quite a few customers that come to me for one guy is this Russian guy. His name is ex wrestler, and he comes to me. He always says he wants to try to wrestle me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it. I'm gonna have to take these. I have some shorts on underneath here, because these are I'm just dying with the heat here. So, and I thought I could use these workouts kind of as like twofold, to work out. And also, if you guys don't know, I love music, and I've been trying to come up with ways to, really showcase the new stuff that I've been listening to and stuff. And so you can do critiques on YouTube, but what I've actually been trying to do is find the actual music in YouTube Music and use it license free. So anyway, I'm still working on the video for that, because what I've been doing is recording my screen on my phone, and then I was going to do it like that. Oops, getting ahead of myself here. All right, so let's do the six, seven, 12 little pulses. 25. Let's go further down. 25. Okay. Now we can do this. Okay. Okay. 12 at the top, tiny pulses. Okay, now let's move our hands in. Okay, and let's do our skull bangers. It's just as far as you can. 7. 12 tiny pulses. Okay, now we're gonna rest the bar on our stomach. We're gonna do 45 sit-ups. We're 25, 30, 40, 45. Okay. Oops. That's not good. Yeah, I forgot. Somehow, all of this moving, I lost the thing that screws on at the end. So, okay, let's drink some water. I need to find some water. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so now let's stretch. Let's see. Okay. All right. So, that was a pretty, for me, sorry, I'm trying to get my camera to cooperate here. I have been off for a few days in terms of doing stuff for my just working out or doing anything really. I've just been kind of resting. I've been working on all my content and stuff, and mostly schedules. With content creation, it's crazy how much you have to plan for everything because it's just if you don't have like a plan and stuff, then things can get kind of confusing for your for your followers and stuff, I've noticed. So and I'm trying to get much better at that. That's going to be like my goal for 2026 is just to be the most dependable person I know and be able to count on myself, because I think as human beings, we do a lot of self-destructive things when we don't have a lot of support, because sometimes we just need somebody to be like, dude, you're doing fine, you're okay. So in addition to me trying to do that for my fans and create a community like that, I can't do that unless I'm doing it for myself, right? I mean, hello. So that's just like a given. But again, we forget things like that, when we're in the midst of trying to just get our lives together or figure things out. We, we do a lot of things that we probably wouldn't realize. And the good thing, honestly, about what I do, about being online and content, is I can look back, or I can look at my videos and I'm like, okay, I can see how that's, that's not a great thing. And so we can learn from that, right? And then luckily you can make stuff like that unlisted so that, your fans don't have to see like what a chaotic mess you were. I think some of that's okay because it's human, and it's okay for sometimes people to see us being human and going through something. But it's not like I've ever not been transparent about what's going on in my life. I'm totally fine being like that with my fans and followers because it's a journey, life is a journey. And that's what I'm doing, is showing my life. I'm not like doing Python or, showing stuff like that. I should maybe, because I did teach myself Python. And, that's kind of cool, honestly. But it's hard to get a job when you've taught yourself that stuff because they don't like self-taught people. Okay, so let's do a plank again. This guy is annoying me. Okay, I broke my nail when I was working out here. So we're going to do a plank. So when we're doing these, you're on your tippy toes, right? It's kind of hard to see because the light is right here. Let's see if I can do it like that. That might be better. So we're on our tippy toes and we're sucking our back, our stomach, all the way to our spine, right? And we're leaning on our elbows, right? Okay, lower. And now let's do a snake. Cobra. Again, stretch. Try to not lean too much on your knees because that can hurt them. Again. So try to put your weight like on your thighs if you can, going up in that. Okay, now let's grab the front of our feet and stretch our hamstrings big time. Okay, I didn't wear any makeup today because I was starting at 12:30 and I didn't want to be late. And so, plus I really don't like to wear makeup when I'm working out because, it's like it settles in weird places when you're old like me. So anyway, if you guys have any comments or questions or anything right now, because I know it's been pretty quiet in here, you're welcome to ask them now or let me know what's on your mind or whatever, or if you have something that, you're working on, where you need support for some reason and you want to talk to me about that, or you want, anything that is on your mind, you can ask me right now and I'm happy to answer any questions or give you any insight that I have. So something I'm not sure if you guys know or not is, since I've been a kid, I've always kind of been like an intuitive, right? And my family, I was raised in a born again Christian family, so they don't believe in psychics and stuff, but it's like my mom has always come to me for like intuitive advice and stuff like that. And other people in my family, my niece especially, and she's tried to develop that part of herself as well. But anyway, so, for the last year, I've been developing that as well, because it is kind of like a muscle that you have to use, or you kind of, it's harder to kind of sense those things in people. And sometimes you do have to just turn it off, because otherwise you get so much information that it can start to get overwhelming sometimes. So, and that's one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of people in my life, because, it's like without wanting to, I dig really deep into people just because I have that ability, right? And so when you're trying to hone in on that, you can't really pick, oh, I want to hone in on it like with on phone calls and stuff like that, but not in real life. It doesn't really work like that, so and what you realize a lot of times is, how much people kind of hide behind a veil or a mask, right? So not saying that we all don't, because we all have things that that we're, that we maybe don't think are as apparent as they are, right? And somebody that's very intuitive or an empath, honestly, is people that are narcissistic and selfish are generally attracted to people like that, because they think that they can like get over on someone like that, or they think that that person will, continue to like forgive them over and over again if they constantly are messing up or whatever, which is, not always the wisest things to think about. So what I've been working on, for some things moving forward is doing like kind of mixing like live workouts, maybe with some, some of my psychic work, where you guys can just ask, questions about, I can't answer anything like with healthcare, like your health or anything like that. But, if it's just like issues in your life, like with relationships or a career or something, I would be happy to talk to you guys about that. And just to let you know, I do answer calls on psychics.com, and I can put that information on my website so that you guys have it. That's the only one. I've worked for Seventh Sense and for UK Live Psychics, but the only place I answer calls right now is on psychics.com, just because you can set your prices on there and stuff like that. The other ones you can't set your prices on at all. They tell you what you're going to make, and that's it. And I was taking a lot of calls and not getting a lot of, not making a lot. So I was like, well, I think I'm going to just stick to, and I've been on psychics.com the longest. So anyway, that will be up on my site after this. I will go on there and update it. So if you guys, but you can also schedule one-on-ones with me. And I can do those with you guys. And that's, that would be a live Google meeting that I would do with you guys. And, we would obviously talk in a live meeting. So, and those are, it's like $30 for 15 minutes. So I just wanted to mention that as well. I don't have that on my site right now because I haven't had any of that stuff on there. I just was trying to see if people were getting interest, and this is on thinkfactory.org. So I also have been developing my, since nobody's writing any questions, I'm just gonna talk for a few more minutes and then sign off. But so I have a store that is called Porch and Honey, and I have everything on that store are things that I've made. So, I've been making wreaths and all that stuff since I've been living here. And when and also I've been making these really cute little like brick gnomes, and I'm going to have a video coming up showing you guys how I make those, and just the materials I use and things like that. And so all of those I consider like healing gifts or healing decor or whatever, because when I started making them, I started giving them to people just to see what the response would be. And everyone said that as soon as they put them in their house or in their space, that people were always commenting on how relaxed their space felt or how nice it felt, in that space. And that's exactly the intention I try to put in that stuff, is to make whatever area you put it in, or if it's holding a door, because that's really kind of what they're made. The gnomes are like door stops because it's out of a brick, right? So I made them, and so that's exactly what it's designed to do, is to with the intention that I put in making all of my stuff. I am hoping to whatever space you put whatever you have of mine in, it should make it feel and be homey and warm, and good vibes, good vibrations should be emanated from that, because that's what was put into it, right? And our energy, whatever we put out, we get back. So and that's why I think handmade gifts are so amazing, because that's something, and that's what I'm hoping, that all of my my work, my lives, all the content I make, all of that, it should have a positive, healthy, wholesome, or at least whole, in the sense of that what I'm trying to give you is coming from like my whole heart, right? It's like I'm not trying to like just give you guys a bunch of BS. I don't care really as much about like follows and subscribers and stuff as I care about helping to give you something to hold on to, something that's going to enhance your life, or give you the strength to just get through to the next task. Sometimes that's what we need. We're having a hard time just tying our shoes sometimes, and trust and believe I've been there. And that's my goal, is to breathe that positivity into your lives and give you something amazing to take with you every time you have an interaction with me, right? So all right, so So if you guys again have any more questions for me, or you want to make a comment, let me know. Otherwise, I am going to end this workout, and I thank you guys so much for joining me. And again, let me know if you have, any questions or comments after, if you think of them. And I will let you guys know soon what the schedule is going to be like. I'm in the process of getting just like a part-time little gig outside of the house, just to, get out of the house a little bit more. And I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be yet, and which days I'm going to be working there. What I'm going to be doing is test driving 2027s, or the newest model of like Ford cars, and then relating all my findings to them. And I think there's like a camera or something in the car too, but basically there's all these tests that they have you do, and so it's test driving brand new vehicles. And also, if you get help you get, I guess, like a higher license if you just have a regular driver's license. And in that sense, they will help you get like a CDL or something so that you can drive like the Ford rig trucks and test those as well. So, which is kind of cool. I guess there's a course, like a rate, like not a race course, but like a driving course that you go to that Ford, I guess, owns or something, and it's really close to my house. And so you go there for like an 8 or 10 hour shift, and you drive brand new cars and give them your input. And I'm like, well, that's perfect for me because I'm like a bull in a china shop, and and the other thing that's cool is that I've been looking for a new car. Ford has never been on my list except the Bronco, because the Bronco is one of the few cars that they sell. It's a 6-speed that has a stick shift. And I've really been looking for, I don't love automatic cars. So anyway, so I'm waiting to find out about that. I have to still go take the drug test and a driving test for that. So I'm just waiting to do that. And then that's it. So I'll find out about that, and then I will let you guys know. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys very soon. Okay. See you later.